Quote of the week: stand up for what you believe in because you can fall for anything. Les Brown. Welcome, everybody. It's Jason Barlow, RMT. I'm here today as your therapist and as your coach to help you transform any stress, tension, and pain into health, happiness, and vitality. This is a great quote I heard a year ago from Les Brown, probably one of the finest motivational speakers out there, still going strong by all accounts. Now he's probably in his mid-70s and he doesn't quite do the same tours, but who is these days with the whole COVID situation? Anyway, you can check him out on YouTube anytime you wish. Some very powerful messages, and I've learned a lot from him in this last year in particular. And this was one that really resonated with me because, think back to any encounters, experiences you've had in your life where you believe in something, with every fiber of your being, it feels right to you. You're following your heart, you're following your gut instincts, but there's opposition. And very often that opposition may even come in the form of the ones that are closest to you. In fact, that's very much indeed my experience of recent, that very much the ones that I'm receiving the most amount of conflict from, so to speak, or opposition to, are those that I'm closest to. Now, why is that? I think on one level, it's to learn that, there's expressions of many different opinions and experiences for people in their life. That's how I interpret it. But I've still got more to learn. That what I believe in might not necessarily be what my children choose to believe in. And that's okay. And it's coming to that point of patient acceptance. That doesn't mean I have to drop '40s, that you have experience. Having applied certain things in your life, you have experience that carries you and inspires you. And you recognize that, hey, this has worked for me. And although you may, before me, say that it does or doesn't work, but you've not applied it, then you don't have somewhat any grounds to stand upon. That's not necessarily how I might go about saying it, but that's certainly something I'm thinking, that ultimately we've got to go from our gut instinct, our heart feeling, is it benefiting me? Is it benefiting them? Because otherwise we're liable to topple, right? If we don't stand up for what we believe in, we'll end up falling for anything. That's the essence of this quote here. So what is it that you believe in? And ultimately then, how is it that you're presenting yourself to those loved ones, work colleagues, friends, social networks, whatever that looks like these days? The messages that you're sharing on social media, like how is it that you're interpreting what it is that you believe in? Is it in a manner by which that you're getting more and more resistance? Then you've got to maybe look inside and reflect and go, okay, is the way that I'm sharing this not in a language or their currency that they are recognizing or inspired by? And then we have to make sure, again, following that action, feedback, correction loop, we've got to take on board that, okay, maybe this isn't something they want to hear right now. Maybe this isn't something they want to hear today. Maybe this is something they don't want to hear in the way that I'm saying it. Like, how do I modify? The conclusion that I'm coming to more and more, that my family's teaching me anyway, is that I can only ever be an example. What I say is one thing, but what I do very much, I'm satisfied with, because I'm abiding by what it is that I believe in. And if they're inspired and taken on by it, then great. That's ultimately what, for my role as being their father, is what I'd like to be able to do. And I'm to be able to do for them. Now, ultimately, it's, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's my belief. That's my experience in my life, that, the impressions that we're receiving all the while from the people that we're surrounding ourselves by have an impact. And, especially when we get to a stage in life where our beliefs are very much our core of the directions that we're taking and the way that we, articulate messages to people, we've got to make sure that we're standing strong with those beliefs, especially recognizing that they're benefiting other people and they're benefiting ourselves ultimately. So how do you recognize what you believe in is serving you and those around you? That's really it. That's the gauge. Ultimately here I am as a therapist coach teaching you about signs and symptoms. There's signs and symptoms in all areas of life. Very much as a massage therapist, I talk about signs and symptoms from your physical body, aches and pains and tension spots and spasms and injuries and so forth. It's the same in daily life. If we're getting signs and symptoms of resistance and opposition, and there's more grumpiness and there's more dissatisfaction and fill in the space. Anytime essentially that there's some levels of negativity that you're experiencing from your loved ones and those around you, then that to me is a sign, and their language and their experiences speaking to you, and yours are speaking to you too. You just got to recognize how it is that you're going to be able to, assimilate that information, hold strong to your beliefs, but not be oppressive in the way that you're approaching it, so that you can still believe in what it is that you believe in, but not feel like you have to throw it and thrust it upon everybody that's in your life. And that can be a challenge, can't it? Because especially our loved ones, so we've got tastes, we've got experiences in our life. What do we want? We want them to have the same taste, the same experiences, right? Hey, this took me 20 years to figure this out. I could give it to you in 2 minutes. Well, yeah, that's great. And it's probably intellectually going to be even taken upon, but they've got to go through their own experiences in life in order for them to trip and fall and go, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, that's how certainly, I'm saying I can speak to my experience, have gotten to the point where I am right now, that we've got to trip and fall and have these experiences and go through those challenges and oppositions in order to recognize what it is that we truly believe in, and then to be able to hold strong with our heartfelt experience of, you know what, this works for me. And it could work for you, but that depends upon your inspiration, your wish, your intention to want to take that on and apply it and see what results you get for yourself. And I'm very much coming from a science point of view. I'm a scientist. I was trained in sports science. I've studied human sciences for years. It's not just, something ethereal and randomly thrown out there. What I share with you through these videos is very much science-based to the best of my ability. I mean, some of it's an element of my personal experience, but it's applications of science that's got me to that point of personal experience. So we've got to use this integration of all these different wonderful books and, research that we have at our fingertips, and social media and so on and so forth. And we've got to make sure that ultimately this is aligning, right? That content that we're allowing into our body, into our mind, into our eyes, into our ears is influencing. And it's either shaping or modifying our beliefs and making them stronger, or shaping them, modifying, and allowing them to be carved away. Now, it'd be wonderful if we could just turn up and get that solid belief straight off the bat. It's a constant process, isn't it? Of building and shedding away and building and shedding away. And that's, in essence, what life is all about. But what is it that you're holding strong to, that you are finding benefit from in your life, and that you're finding it's bringing benefit to other people in your life? And are you able to sustain that belief ultimately? Because it's going to get compressed, it's going to get pushed, as are we in our life. And I love that quote that I heard years ago, that when you get, if you're going to squeeze lemons, you're only going to get lemon juice from it. And what happens when you get squeezed in life? What is it that's going to come out? Right? Is it your strong belief in whatever that is and whatever that looks like for you? And are you able to hold strong with your determinations and intentions no matter what? Because ultimately, we're going to be pushed and compressed. Life inevitabilities are, we're going to get sick, we're going to age, eventually we're going to die. How are we confronting those challenges before they even present themselves? And for me, it's a matter of preparing and training the body, the mind, for those eventualities so that we can deal with them, especially from a mind point of view, in a far healthier manner. So I hope they found that of benefit. I kind of went a little bit around the houses there today, but I wanted to kind of tap into a few different things. But, that quote of the week there, stand up for what you believe in, because you can fall for anything. So are you holding strong to your truth, your beliefs? And are you finding yourself able to shape and continue to, mold that in the way that you would like, so that you are benefiting yourself and benefiting as many people as possible, and ultimately expressing that health, happiness, and vitality? Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you found that benefit. Remember, go to my website, get my free book while you still can, jasonbarlowrmt.com. Right now, I'm going to sign off. Remember, your muscle health is my #1 priority. We'll see you guys soon.